Sonic Colors Ultimate is an unplayable mess.
This game is a disgrace.
How could you mess up a port this
I
badly?
hate this
What a
game.
disappointment.
The original was way better.
Well, I never played the original Sonic Colors, and I kind of want to try it out. So the question that I'm going to be answering today is, can Sonic Colors Ultimate give first-time Sonic Colors players a solid Sonic Colors experience? This video isn't about comparing Sonic Colors Ultimate to its original version, it's more about seeing if this version can stand on its own 2 feet for the players who may not have experienced the original in any of its forms. In fact, I care so little about the original Sonic Colors in this video that I don't want this anywhere near me. It's no secret that when Sonic Colors Ultimate first came out, it was an absolute glitchy disaster. If you do a quick search on YouTube, there are plenty of videos highlighting the various bugs that were present in the game upon its release. Some of the graphical bugs were so bad that people actually had to put epilepsy warnings in the titles of their videos where they documented those specific glitches, and that's honestly terrible. Some of the other glitches were admittedly kind of funny, like I don't know what the f is going on in this clip, to be honest with you. Even though we can look back at some of these glitches and laugh at them, they were truly game breaking, and a lot of the time made the section of the game that it was messing with completely unplayable. And that's never how a game should be released. And now it's been almost a full year since the game came out, and the dev team has put out tons of patches trying to salvage this experience. And since I've been wanting to play this game for a while now, I figured now's as good a time as ever. Sonic Colors Ultimate is available on basically all of the major platforms, so which one did I decide to play? The glitchiest version of all, of course. In order to give this review at least some integrity, I really have to venture into the belly of the beast for you guys. And to do that, I have to play the version of this game that has the most documented bugs and glitches. If I can have a clean experience playing the Switch version of this game, then that would mean you should be okay to buy this game on whatever other platforms it's available for. Probably. Now, the original Sonic Colors is generally one of the more positive reviewed modern Sonic games from the past 15 years or so. So regardless of all the noise from the negative reviews and complaints of glitchiness that I heard going into this game, I remained pretty optimistic that I might have a good time. And luckily for me, I didn't really run into any of the most severe game-breaking glitches that I've seen showcased across YouTube. I was able to play through the entire game without ever having to call 911 because my Switch exploded. 911, what's your emergency? It happened again! Oh no! Jesus fucking Christ. This isn't to say that I didn't notice at least a little bit of weirdness in this game, though I wonder if some of the issues might not actually have been a result of the port, but more so as a result of the Nintendo Switch's outdated hardware having a hard time running a game that was probably optimized for other systems. Anywho, the closest thing to a game-breaking glitch that I did run into was in the Asteroid Coaster Zone. It was Act 4. You have to race along this Saturn ring-looking saucer while destroying a bunch of these one-wheeled motorcycle robots until you trigger the goal ring to spawn. It's not supposed to be a long level. You can actually finish it in less than 60 seconds, but on my first attempt, I ended up running in circles endlessly for about 7 minutes before I realized something was definitely off. When I restarted the level, whatever bug I ran into must have been reset because I finished the level in less than a minute. That was odd, but obviously not game-breaking enough where I couldn't get through it after restarting the level. Other than that obvious roadblock of a glitch, the other problems I ran into weren't actually that big of a deal. They were minuscule enough where they didn't really impact my ability to advance through the game. Some boss fights felt a tad bit unfair at times because of some wonky physics and graphics. There are clearly issues with the laser beams on a few bosses. Like here, for example. I'm pretty sure that the turret is supposed to be reaching me, but as you can see, it's not even coming close. There's also a segment where you have to dodge around some asteroids in your path against the Frigate Scullion, and they're oddly placed as they're somehow protruding from the platforms that you're running through. Not really sure how that works. Also, I don't know if this was just a glitch or poor game design or whatever, but the Refreshinator and the Rotatatron felt a little broken in that I got lucky and struck them down in less than 30 seconds. Some of the other boss fights took me about 5 to 10 minutes to complete, but these guys took less than a minute? That definitely seems a little off to me. Generally speaking, outside of the boss battles, there's actually a lot of graphic pop-in if you look into the distance, especially in some of the 3D segments. I don't know if it's just this game being a poor remaster or if it's more glitches or a bit of both, but it's something that I definitely notice on more than one occasion throughout my playthrough of the game. Sometimes, because of these subpar graphics, you'll end up getting caught by surprise with an action command that comes out of nowhere during a 3D auto-scrolling segment. You might have to use your homing attack on an asteroid to keep moving forward, and if you miss, you die. Since you can't see the asteroid from too far away, because of the graphical pop-in, you might miss the command on your first try if you don't have cat-like reflexes. Beyond pop-in, the graphics don't really feel like they're that much better than what the Wii was capable of, which is honestly a little disappointing for a remaster of a 10-year-old game. Even for some of the short story cutscenes that we get throughout the game, I found myself thinking that they probably could have been polished up just a little bit nicer. If you made it this far into the video and you're not subscribed yet, What are you doing? Here's the good news. That's pretty much all the glitchiness that I experienced on my playthrough of this game. I'm sure there were more glitches lurking in the shadows that I just didn't uncover during my playthrough, but the point is, I was able to get through the entire game in a pretty clean way without ever being completely stopped by a game-breaking glitch. Obviously, getting to play through this notoriously glitchy game in a clean way is a good thing, but the bigger question is, did I actually have a good time? Yeah, I would say that I did. Yeah, Sonic Colors is a pretty good game. The story is as cookie cutter as a Sonic game can get. It's actually so simple that it reminds me of the classic Sonic storyline. The basic premise is that Eggman is harvesting the power of the Wisps and their home planets in outer space to power his giant theme park / death ray so he can take over the world. It sounds pretty gosh darn close to when Eggman wanted to use the power of the Flickies in the original Sonic games, doesn't it? The simplicity of the story is matched by the simplicity of the cast. Sonic, Tails, and Eggman are the only 3 main Sonic characters who show up in this game outside of the Wisps and Eggman's loyal robots. I will admit that it would have been cool to get some appearances from Knuckles, Amy, or maybe even Shadow, but in the interest of keeping the story super simple, this cast works for what it is. Throughout the story, the cutscenes are full of playful banter between the characters. Sonic and Tails have a very brotherly relationship on display here, where they roast each other for little things here and there. And Eggman's robots are a big source of comic relief for all these scenes. The running gag throughout the entire game is that his robot's voice chip got corrupted, so he always has to use these different voices. Like in one scene, he'll be talking like he's in a Western movie, and in the next, he's talking like he's a pirate.
Arrgh, shiver me timbers, matey.
Why did I write that? Whether or not you like the humor in this game is completely up to your own taste, but what matters most is the level design and the gameplay itself. The world design in Super Sonic Galaxy is pretty cool. All the zones have vibrant themes and scenery. The Asteroid Coaster and Starlight Carnival zones were definitely highlights for me. Starlight Carnival has some of the best art design I've seen in any modern Sonic game, and Asteroid Coaster has some of the best level design. The levels include both 3D and 2D segments, but I definitely think that the game is at its absolute strongest during the 2D segments. 3D is fine, but a lot of the time it doesn't feel like you have a whole lot of control over Sonic, and that you're just kind of locked into this auto-scrolling rail that you occasionally have to dodge or attack enemies on. The 2D sections require a bit more platforming, thinking, and precision. There's plenty of hidden collectibles and paths, and they just feel like a modern incarnation of the original Sonic the Hedgehog games. The 2D segments are also where you end up using most of the Wisp's powers. Speaking of the Wisps, Sonic Colors has 8 different Wisps whose powers you utilize to traverse the levels. The green Wisp lets you hover, the ghost Wisp lets you go through walls, the orange Wisp is like a rocket ship, the blue Wisp helps you solve puzzles, the yellow Wisp is a drill, the teal Wisp lets you bounce off walls, the pink Wisp lets you go climb walls, and the purple Wisp lets you eat everything in sight. That's a lot of Wisp. These different Wisp powers lead to some cool level design that's truly unique to Sonic Colors. The puzzle platforming with the blue Wisp is a style I haven't really seen in any other Sonic games. And what other Sonic games does Sonic get to phase through walls as a ghost in? Although I will say that the Ghost Wisp was probably one of my least favorites, I never really felt like it had the chance to shine like some of the others did. What's even cooler about these powers is how you end up repurposing some of them throughout the game. A clever example of this is with the yellow Drill Wisp. When you first get it, that's just what it is. It's a drill that you use to traverse underground caverns in the level. But later in the game, when you reach the aquarium world, that same Drill Wisp is used as an underwater torpedo that lets you glide through the water like a missile, and it's pretty satisfying to control. Glitches aside, I actually had a decent amount of fun with the boss battles, except for these two. I didn't get stuck on any of them for too long, but it also definitely felt like I had to earn some of my victories, especially towards the end of the game. One complaint I do have about the end of the game, by the way, is that you don't get to turn into Super Sonic to fight the last boss. I always think that's one of the coolest parts of the big climax at the end of Sonic games. To get Super Sonic and Sonic Colors Ultimate, you actually have to collect all of the hidden red coins in every single stage, and then go on to collect all of the Chaos Emeralds in the Sonic Simulator, which is a bonus mode with some extra levels and co-op puzzles built in. On the one hand, I really do appreciate that this game gives you a pretty solid 100% completion reward by playing as Super Sonic. A lot of games really do bungle that 100% reward, and this one is actually pretty good. But on the other hand, I really do feel like the ending of this game needed just a little bit more oomph, and Super Sonic probably would have done that for me. I was honestly surprised when I beat the last boss that there wasn't some sort of hidden true final boss afterwards. The game just kind of ended. But anyway, for this being my first time ever playing Sonic Colors Ultimate, and with the exception of some of the glitches that I pointed out before, I actually had a pretty fun time playing this game. Even though this isn't exactly what I would call a perfect remaster, I can definitely see why it's the type of game that Sega chose to give a remaster. Even though there was plenty of glitches, the true Sonic Colors experience was able to shine through. If you're one of those people who was scared away from this game by the negative reviews and reports of glitchiness when this game first came out, and you still have an interest in playing it, I would say it's a pretty good idea. Maybe you don't have a Wii and you don't have a way to play the original Sonic Colors. pick this game up. It's actually a pretty clean experience. And hey, if you want to spend a few extra dollars for the launch edition, you can get this baby Sonic keychain. Is it worth it? Definitely not. You know what? Maybe I will try the Wii version. Holy shit, it is better!